Ron King Jeff Gundlach suggesting Bitcoin could be better than gold. He tweeted, I'm a long-term dollar bear and gold bull, but have been neutral on both for over 6 months. Lots of liquid poured into a funnel creates a torrent. Bitcoin may be the stimulus asset. Doesn't look like gold is. Gold ETF GLD has seen outflows. Gold, the performance of the GLD has been sort of range-bound for the past year. We've got 2 Bitcoin bulls on this panel, so I don't know what other answer I'm expecting. But BK, what do you think of Jeff Gundlach's comments?
Welcome to the party, Jeff. I mean, listen, just a real smart guy. And I talked to Jeff a while back about Bitcoin, and he was kind of interested in it. And I think what you're seeing here is this institutional acceptance of Bitcoin that's been exacerbated by this divergence between Bitcoin and gold. Just a note on gold, the reason why, at least in my view, that it has been underperforming is the trade on gold was negative real interest rates. So the inflation rate minus the 10-year. So as the 10-year gets closer to 2%, which is roughly the inflation rate, that negative real rate starts to decline. And the reason why you got into gold was the catalyst kind of disappears. Now, Bitcoin will ultimately, in my view, take on some of those macro characteristics, but it's in this period, this commodity digital gold era, where it's really just being accumulated, which is part of the thesis on Bitcoin from a long time ago, is that as this becomes a new asset class, you're going to have institutional investors accumulate it. And so those buyers are less concerned necessarily about the day-to-day macro and more concerned about getting an initial position on.
We've got more and more institutional investors coming in. Their wallets are getting bigger, Pomp. They seem like they are holders of Bitcoin, not users of Bitcoin. At what point, how does that transition happen from institutions simply holding this asset to it being actually used as a currency? Because that seems to be the next leg of the thesis.
Yeah, look, a currency basically has 2 core criteria, right? It's a store of value, it's a medium of exchange, but it's sequential. You need the store of value before you have the medium of exchange. And I think Bitcoin is going through price discovery right now. It's $1 trillion asset, give or take. I think it'll overtake gold in the next 5 or 6 years. And by the end of 2020s, we're going to see $1 million Bitcoin price, so kind of 2x gold's market cap. But that's because Bitcoin is a 100x improvement on gold as a store of value. And so once we start to get much more liquidity, there's more utility, and you get some kind of price stability, that's really where you'll start to see the currency come in. But I think one of the key parts that people don't give enough credit to is the community around Bitcoin, right? There is a lot of the loud music and kind of the meme videos. You literally have people saying, have fun staying poor to billionaires on the internet. Like, there's this whole culture that I think a lot of people are basically saying, like, this is no way a financial asset. But what you're starting to see is that the data is suggesting this is the best asset, right? Gundlach literally called it the stimulus asset. It's up 500+% since the government and central bank stepped in and started to intervene in markets. And so I think that people are just waking up to the fact that if you can set aside kind of the culture and the community and just look at the asset and the performance, what you find is this is actually serving as one of the best single stores of value in the world. And I think that it'll continue to do that in the coming year.
I'm such an idiot with CCIV and Bitcoin. At least I know I'm an idiot, all right? And everyone's like, don't trade emotional. You do not know me. I'm not going to give Bitcoin the satisfaction and jump in being last man on board, being the poorest guy on the ship. Hey, fucking poor guy, swab the deck. I'll throw you a little fucking Bitcoin and watch me scramble like a rat for like 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin while Winklevoss and fucking parabolic guy and Pomp laugh at me from the fucking upper deck. I'll just be on a different ship. And I love parabolic guy. Parabolic guy, Jason Williams, one of my favorite guys. I ain't swabbing his deck. No, I'm not going to swab the deck. I'm not going to swab the deck. And God forbid, if I buy Bitcoin and it crashes, that'll force me to hate some people I don't hate.
Joe Kernan and Aaron Ross Sorkin we're actually like in a conversation talking about crypto. They said, "Oh, wait, a big crypto," which was
that's what I started the dispatch with. That clip.
Yeah.
What's an interesting thing about it is like, so Joe Kernan is one of us. Like he has a bag of Bitcoin and like
everything divided by 21 million.
It's so good.
Dropped it.
And like historically, we've always said, you know, when you own Bitcoin, you have an incentive to talk about it, improve it, shill it, right? So I expect financial journalists, these anchors and stuff that have Bitcoin, they want to talk about it a lot. And that's what we saw with Brian Kelly last cycle, right? He had all the shit coins, so he was trying to dump them on retail, so he wanted to talk about them a lot. What's really cool to see is Salty No Corner Sorkin, his co-anchor, who has to bring it up all the time, and because his like editors or whatever, his producers are telling him he has to bring it up, and he is so deflated. He is so deflated just watching Bitcoin go up. He looks destroyed inside, and yet he still needs to ask the question.
He's visibly physically triggered. Like when he has to like bring it out, he's like squirming and like his voice changes a little bit.
We're talking
Aaron,
about voice changes. How about
Sorkin.
your boy? Portnoy.
Which one?
How about Portnoy's video?
Dave, you gotta pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. You gotta pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. Dave, I know you probably don't like me, but I don't want to, like, I would not want to see the success that you've achieved in life be diminished because you miss out because you're short Bitcoin. Just get it, bro. I know you probably don't like me, but this is advice coming from the heart, not trying to troll. I told you to get in, bitch. We're going to the moon back in October. Listen, then you'd be okay right now. Okay.
I told him
That's
the
all I'm
dollar
gonna say,
cost
Matt.
average
I
in
don't know if you want to
August.
step in here.
He, you know, I still blame the Winklevoss
Dollar cost
twins.
average back in 2017.
Yeah, the Winklevoss twins fucked him over, and that's what they always do. You know, this is the problem with this space, right? Is like they know Bitcoin is designed to pump forever. They know Bitcoin is the future of money. They know Bitcoin's the best money we've ever had. They own a shit ton of fucking Bitcoin, but their exchange is based off of shitcoin trading. They make a ton of money off of it. So God forbid they ever talk about the real thing, and they always need to pump their fucking bags, and it happens every fucking time. The crazy thing about this Portnoy thing was he literally said, "I'm never going to buy Bitcoin," which is usually the last step right before you end up capitulating and buying Bitcoin.
We capitulated this morning. Did you see that?